Don't forget to hold your hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times,
No, I refuse.
Tell the healthy folks what we're doing today.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quest to Anaheim to obtain the elusive VT800 of Antioch. The 800 is a bike that I really haven't done a whole lot of work on for numerous reasons. It was made for literally never. See here, I just want to read some facts. All right, so the 80s were a colored and beautiful time of history for Honda and Harley and a lot of things. You know, people have like a really romantic view of what the 80s were. Honestly, it was a bunch of polyester and cocaine, and everyone was just tweaked the fuck out, and I don't know. It was an interesting time though, for sure. Honestly, in many ways, more pleasant than what we're living through now, but in this time period, Honda released the Honda Shadow.
Want to clear out a room full of guys in a hurry? Try this. The Shadow from Honda. People want to listen to it. People want to look at it. And everybody wants to ride it. The Shadow from Honda. Now you know who's in charge.
They started with a 500 and a 750. Unfortunately, the 750 only was around for 1 year, the Shadow 750C, for 1 year, 83. And Harley at that time got a stick up their ass because Honda or metric bike sales were doing great and Harley was sucking ass. Mostly because they just did not want to leave traditional engineering methods, yada yada. So in 84, the Reagan administration imposed a tariff, which I want to say was 49%, something ridiculous. I forget. If anybody needs the facts, just let me know and I'll give you the fact. It was insane, regardless. The restriction was any bike over 701 cc's couldn't be sold in the US. You'd have to pay an import tariff. You could sell it, but you had to pay an import tariff. In 84, they did a little switcheroo on the tooling, and the 750 Shadow was turned to a 700. 700 only lasted through 85 because that's when the tariff was lifted. And then they moved on to the 1100. They started making 1100s. And then in 88, they came out with the 800. The 800 didn't last. It really wasn't around very long. Not that it's a terrible bike, but it's just the 600 kicked its ass in sales. Demand was high for a bike that looked like a cruiser instead of more of that 80s look cruiser bike that kind of has a high seat height, buckhorn bars, you're sitting pretty vertically, hands are lower, you have kind of a big king and queen seat. So the style had changed and Honda released the Honda Shadow VT600. That did really well, so the 800 was dropped. What makes the 800 kind of interesting, the VT800 or the 800 Shadow, is that 5.1 centimeters bigger than the 750. Not much of a change, the 750 motor that Honda already had. And they claimed 74 horses, which I feel is kind of optimistic.
Those are Japanese horses. They eat Wagyu beef.
Oh, the small ones.
Yes.
That's right. So 74 Japanese horses, I guess, that's correct, yeah. American horses, you're probably talking like 3. You know, there's no replacement for displacement, but math is hard, man, you know? Made for 1 year, kind of a weird time for Honda. They had kind of conquered dirt, racetracks. They were getting into the cruiser market. It's not that comfortable of a bike for long distances. The ergonomics really aren't as well designed as they are now. And they still brought in kind of sport bike methodology, I guess, into the design of the rider position. The 800 really only had 1 year. What's very interesting is they took the same motor and in 88, I think they added gear. And they put it in the motorcycle, a touring motorcycle called the Pacific Coast. And it's kind of a big, chunky, Akira-looking style bike. So that motor did live on for another year in the 800 Pacific Coast. And if you Google that thing, definitely, it's an interesting motorcycle. I feel like somebody who lives on a golf course probably owns one and has, you know, ridden to Half Moon Bay and eaten clam chowder a time or two, and then it ends up sitting in the garage for years, and they own a bunch of expensive leather that they've never worn. So, yeah, the 1100 came out around the same time, and that had much better styling, so to speak. Oh, dude, it's bouncy. Is that a problem?
Oh, yeah.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
All right, should we stop?
Yeah.
That's going to be terrible.
Yeah, I can.
Ah!
to history lesson. Okay, so time for history. Basically, everything sucked, and they were like, "This thing's a piece of shit. Fuck this. We're making more money with other things." And like any good business, who knows their shit, they're gonna get rid of the things that really aren't moving. So they nixed the 800, redesigned the motor, put it in another crappy bike, and there you have it. So one of my friends hits me up. He's like, "Hey, I scored this bike on eBay," and he sent me a picture. Check this thing out. It is like stock, pristine condition. It's got like 7,000 something miles on it. Not very high mileage. We're gonna bring it in the shop and see what we can do with it. See if I can actually get it running, and yeah. And now we're on the 5 headed Tijuana because we have to go there first.
I think I see it. Oh, got it right there?
Side cover's missing though, that's a problem. Oh, that's great. So this doesn't look like what's in the picture, so I want to make sure. Uh-oh. All right, let's go find someone to talk to